Downtown Houston, Texas, the place to be and where the best team in the American League resides. And tonight, the mythical second half of the baseball season begins as the Houston Astros welcome in the Minnesota Twins it's always a great night for baseball here at Minute Maid. And the Astros start the second half with a historic lead of 16 and a half games as they go to work tonight. That is their lead in the American League West. Alongside Jeff Blum, I'm Kevin Eschenfelder. Todd Callis has the night off tonight. Good to have you with us here on AT HOU Sportsnet as the Astros go to work, as I said, with that huge lead. It's been an offense. We go up and down and look at all the different scenarios and the different numbers. It's video game numbers that we've seen so far.
No, it really is. And when we start pulling up numbers from 1927 and we talk about the Bronx Bombers, you can now draw comparisons halfway through the season. And the first month was a shock to me. I'm a believer now.
Yeah, I talked to AJ Hinch before the game. He talked about what the most impressive thing was to him about this team. He said the relentless nature of this offense. They don't settle for a 10-0 lead. They want more, and that goes with each and every at-bat. That's what we've seen throughout the entire first half.
This is bordering on a once-in-a-millennium type ball club as far as offense is concerned. I think these guys are understanding that, but I also think that they understand that there is a certain amount of greediness that can be had as an offense. When you're having a season like this, top to bottom, you don't want to be that weak link. And these guys are young, hungry, and understand when they put up numbers, they're eventually going to get paid too.
Look at every offensive category, and they're not just in the top 5. They lead in just about every offensive category imaginable.
No, this is absolute domination. That 500 slugging percentage will get a little bit deeper into that, but that number on the bottom is the one that impresses me the most. They are striking out the fewest, yet putting up monster numbers.
Let's face it, that's foundation of this club as far as the lineup is concerned. It's really built on what you can call the big three, and it's 3 of the first 4 you'll see in the lineup tonight. And of course, we're talking about George Springer, Jose Altuve, and Carlos Correa. Their numbers are off the charts all season long, but especially here in the month of July.
No, literally off the charts. When you look at that WRC+, that is a weighted run-created metric that they use to value a guy's run production. And the baseline for that is 100 across the major league. So these guys are 60-plus points above that 100 mark as far as the major league average. So these guys are dominating in a dominant lineup.
First of a 3-game series between the Astros and the Minnesota Twins. It is coming up from Minute Maid Park. When we come back, take a closer look at the starting pitching. Charlie Morton gets the ball tonight for the Astros. It's coming up next right here on AT&T Sportsnet.
The Astros and the Minnesota Twins are about to play game 1 of this weekend series as they kick off the second half of the season here. Last time these two teams faced off was up in Minnesota, and the Astros were rude guests, dropping 40 runs on the Twins in 3 games. So they'll be looking for a little payback in this series for sure. And they'll try to get some tonight against Charlie Morton, but that won't be easy if Morton continues to pitch the way he has been pitching. In fact, Morton is a guy that the Astros are glad to have back. They've been dealing with a ton of injuries. 4 of the 5 guys they were counting on to be part of their starting rotation coming out of spring training have missed significant time, starting with Dallas Keuchel, of course, who was 9-0, but he's also missed 7 starts. Lance McCullers missed a couple of starts with a back issue, and Colin McHugh has yet to take the mound in a major league game this season. He's been dealing with an elbow problem, but he's very close to coming back. And then Morton has also missed 7 starts, but made his return from the DL in Toronto. His first start back, he pitched very well, picked up right where he left off. Through 6 sharp innings, gave up just 1 earned run, struck out 3 and walked 2. The 3 strikeouts was a little bit low for him because he's had a good year in terms of the strikeouts. He's averaging 9.61 per 9 innings. Astros won this game 12-2. And Morton now has a 5-game winning streak over his last 5 starts. The most important thing about that start in Toronto was the fact that he felt no ill effects at all of the lat strain that put him on the DL. He said he felt great, and he is ready to go once again tonight. So we'll see if the Astros can keep the momentum going tonight. Can the best offensive club in baseball pick up right where they left off before the break? We're about to find out. We got Astros Twins in game 1 of this series right here on AT&T Sportsnet, coming your way next.
AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Whataburger. The burger you've been craving is back at Whataburger. The sweet and spicy bacon burger, now an all-time favorite. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, downtown Houston, Minute Maid Park. It is the first of a three-game series between the Houston Astros, the best team in the American League, with a 60-29 record. Only the Los Angeles Dodgers with more wins in all of baseball. Minnesota Twins come in 2.5 games back of the Cleveland Indians in the American League Central Division. Take a look at this Twins lineup tonight for Paul Molitor in the first of this three-game series. And the guy to keep an eye on is right there in that 3-hole. This is not a real good offensive team, but they have stayed steady throughout the entire season. Miguel Sano is a guy who's really swinging it well.
He's a thumper. He's also an all-star. He's going to be facing right-hander Charlie Morton going for the Houston Astros. There's a good look at Charlie. Made one start in Toronto before that all-star break. Coming back from the DL, he had been pitching well. The month of May was very good for Charlie Morton, where he had a 3.97 ERA. Also had a 3-1 record. There you see the totals on the season. Opponents at 250. And also remember, Charlie Morton missing a couple starts. That arm is healthy and the velocity is still up.
And Brian Dozier leads it off for the Minnesota Twins. Twins coming in after this all-star break. Before the break, they had split a 4-game series with the Baltimore Orioles. Dozier, a .242 hitter with 13 home runs and 41 driven in. That one hit well to left field and looking up, and that ball is gone. Leadoff home run, in Minnesota takes a 1-0 lead.
Minnesota is not known for being a home run hitting team. They're actually averaging 1.14 home runs per game this season, which is not a big number. And Dozier jumped on that first fastball that he saw. You can see it on our MD Anderson strike zone. Trying to stay away, but that one sank right back over that middle third. Dozier, notorious home run hitter for a second baseman, drives it out of here.
9th home run allowed by Morton in his 11 previous starts. Well, here's Zach Granite still looking for his first major league hit. Just 0 for 2. He was recalled from Rochester, AAA Rochester, right before the break. In the 2 games this season, 0 for 4. Minor League Player of the Year 2016 for the Minnesota Twins. Fouled off. Granite recalled on July 8th from Rochester. He was hitting .360 in the minor leagues. Fouled back into the net. It's 0-2. It's a quick 3-game road trip for the Minnesota Twins. We'll head back to take on the New York Yankees back in Minnesota. Twins are a good road team. In fact, there's only one team in the American League with a better road record than Minnesota. That's the Houston Astros. Get out to Correa on one hop. Double clutches, throws, and got him.
I might be taking a look at that. Granite was moving pretty well down the first base line. It's a good look at that play on our Mattress Firm Supermo. You could kind of see he got his entire hand around that baseball and he had to re-grip.
That's going to stand.
Good call.
So 1 away after the leadoff home run by Brian Dozier, and that'll bring up the all-star Miguel Sano. Sano, a .276 hitter, well over 300 here in the month of July. Charlie Morton is a guy that's going to need to get the breaking ball working in this game. Scouting report on the Twins is that they are a good low ball hitting team, and that's where Charlie Morton likes to live. Wouldn't have been able to tell it by that swing. It's 1-1.
There you see the pitch usage. That fastball primary has good run on it. Can pitch in the mid-90s with it, but you're right. Getting to that curveball is key. Use it effectively to get the punch outs.
Just off the plate. 2 balls and a strike.
But Miguel Sano is a power hitter, and he's a humongous person. And sometimes, unlike Aaron Judge, you can tie these guys up, and I think that's what Charlie Morton is going to try and do with that fastball running to the inside corner.
2-2.
And if he gets Sano conscious on the inside corner, he'll get these swings on the sliders. See that pitch sweeping across the zone, but that front hip for the hitter flying out.
Count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sano's a free swinger, to say the least. Second highest strikeout percentage in Major League Baseball. He offered it that one. 2 outs.
You kind of see the sequence happening, in, out, in, out. Good job by Charlie Morton setting him up, working well with the veteran Brian McCann back there to get the punch out.
Charlie has had some big strikeout games this season. Granted, this is just his 12th start, but he's had 2 double-digit strikeout games. Here's Max Kepler, 266 hitter, 10 home runs, 62 runs batted in. 4th meeting of the season between the Astros and the Minnesota Twins. The Astros, may remember it very, very well, swept that 3-game set at Target Field back at the end of May. 1 ball and 1 strike. 33-year-old Charlie Morton. This is high. Spoke about the strikeouts, and he's coming into this game 68 punch-outs in 63 2/3 innings.
It's a pretty good rate. He's right at 9.6 per 9 innings this season,
which is really well above where he's ever been before.
Well, 2016, it's going to be a wash for me because he was hurt that entire year. But if you go back to 2015, he was at 6.7 punch-outs per 9 innings. And I've faced Charlie Morton when he was a standard sinker-slider type guy. Didn't have much on the velocity, was able to locate that sinker on both sides, but that is a huge spike, and it's all due to the velocity.
Three and 2. That was an attention getter.
You want to raise eye levels. It's going to scare some guys off getting up around that neck.
Full count, 2 outs. We'll do it again. Brian Dozier led off the first inning with a solo home run, and it's 1-0 Minnesota. It'd be hard for him to lead off with anything but a solo home run. Get it out of the ballpark.
It would be. There's another 4-point homer.
He didn't hit it that far. Ball 4. So a man aboard for the designated hitter, former Astro Robbie Grossman. 256, 6 home runs. One of those 6 home runs came in that series against the Astros.
Talked about the Minnesota Twins offense not being one of those prolific offenses that goes out there and scores a tons of runs and puts teams away. Might explain why Robbie Grossman is hitting in the 5-hole. More of an on-base percentage type guy.
It's interesting when you look at how different lineups are constructed. The way Paul Molitor puts this lineup together, given the tools that he has. This has been a Minnesota team that's really been consistent all season long.
Borderline right there. The body definitely swung at it.
Kepler's got 3 stolen bases in 4 tries. 3-0. Two balls and one strike. They got 3-0 here in the scoreboard here at Minute Maid. See if they change that. They do. 2 balls and 1 strike. And now Brian McCann wants to head out and have a word with his right-hander.
His last 2 curveballs weren't all that bad. They were just off the outside corner, kind of breaking around that outside corner. Bobby Grossman is known for having very good command of the strike zone, laying off those 2 pitches on the outside corner, got himself into that 3-1 count.
Well, you talked about it. Morton making his 2nd start since coming off the disabled list. Very solid in that game against Toronto. The Astros split that 4-game series north of the border. That is outside. There's 2 on with 2 outs. Took Max Kepler a second to look in and say, okay, that was ball 4, wasn't it? Bring up Kennis Vargas. This is a big man to fill up a batter's box.
Yeah, between him and Sano, that'd be a good matchup down low on the post.
Saw the numbers: 247, 7 home runs, 29 RBIs for Vargas. Strike 1.
First innings have been good for Charlie Morton this season, allowing a 2.45 ERA, but the opponent batting average is at 225. He actually gets better 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th innings.
Trying to get out of some trouble here, and for the most part, it's self-inflicted.
It's got to be tough. He worked himself back in a couple of rehab starts, started right before the All-Star break, and then got another extended break. So might have a little bit of trouble getting that release point back. It's one thing to go out and work in the bullpen, but another thing to be on the mound with this high-stress situation.
Look at it. Bat goes flying into right field. It's a foul ball.
Yeah, the ball was foul, not the barrel.
The bat, what was the exit velocity on the top half of the bat as opposed to the bottom half of the bat?
Somebody might have termites. It's a bad piece of wood to go flying that far. It went farther than the baseball. Now you guys hear me talking about kitchens. That is all up in the kitchen of Vargas right there.
That bat landed 30 feet into the grass in right field. About as deep as where Altuve is playing right now. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 on. We're in the 1st inning. Call strike 3. Twins get a run, but leave 2. Best offense in the American League coming to bat. George Springer, Jose Altuve, and Josh Reddick will lead it off. Astros starting lineup as we take a look. Up and down they go. We start the 2nd half of the season like this, and no one hotter right now. And take your pick. There's a lot to pick from. Carlos Correa right now in the month of July hitting 14 for 28. He is hitting 500, and his numbers don't even stand off the charts when it comes to looking at the rest of the numbers up and down this lineup. As Springer, Altuve, and Reddick, Correa, McCann, and Beltran. Yuli Gurriel is in there along with Marwin Gonzalez and Alex Bregman, and they will face Jose Berrios, facing the Astros for the 2nd time this season.
Youngster is proven to solidify this rotation for the Minnesota Twins, doing a very good job in those 11 starts, 8-2 record. It's getting some healthy run support. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Fastball comes in there averaging almost 94 miles an hour, and the last time he faced the Astros, he went five innings, giving up 4 earned runs. Astros worked him for 4 walks.
George Springer hitting .310 with 27 home runs and 61 runs batted in, a .993 OPS. You look at the on-base plus slugging up and down the lineups. You're off to a wicked good start. It's 3 balls and no strikes, but it is crazy when you look at the numbers.
No, these numbers they're making guys who play the game and have played the game look at them a little bit closer because they're so hard to believe how inflated they are. But these guys are unbelievable as far as an offensive ball club. You just saw George Springer right there proving to be, he might be remodeling the leadoff hitter. He gets on base, but he also drives the ball out of the ballpark consistently.
The American League Player of the Week, Jose Altuve, hits second after a 4-pitch walk to Springer. Leading the American League with a .347 average, as well as hits. Throw over, it was close, not close enough. In that 3-game series in Minnesota, the Astros scored a franchise record 40 runs in that 3-game set. Ball gets away from Jason Castro, but not far enough.
That series included an 11-run inning.
I'd like to run the numbers and see, you know, people forget in that game, Brad Peacock started in that game. And think about the Minnesota Twins had a 7-run inning. How many times you have a 7-run inning and lose a game?
Not too many. At least you shouldn't.
And lose it 17-6.
Brunt of the scorn of this offense was put on the Minnesota bullpen.
Ball flared the right side. Max Kepler comes over and makes the play. 1 away. Numbers go on and on.
We talked about the big three in the open. The big three are leading in the big three categories. This guy right here deserves a little attention too.
Yes, he does, especially the way he swung it here at Minute Maid Park. Astros a better offensive team by far on the road than they are here, but guys like Reddick and Correa that have really kept things even. High pop up, and there's 2 outs. I'll bring up Carlos Correa. Boy, pick your poison. Off his first All-Star appearance in Miami. Good to see he and Altuve.
Does it mean to those guys just look like they were having the time of their life?
Springer too.
Hey.
Devo getting some run as well. Twins lead at 1-0. Berrios throws over. Timeout was called. The Twins, one of the surprise teams in Major League Baseball. They had 22 wins at the All-Star break a year ago. About 2.5 games back of the Cleveland Indians, the American League Central Division. Molitor was talking about before the game. He says, you know, we have a who's hot list, and I was reading it. He says, I had to look at it again because he said everybody was hot on this Astros team. He said these are the kind of numbers they put up in American Legion ball, not American League ball. Thought that was a great line. Swing and a miss by Correa.
A little excited, didn't he? Fastball up, he went after it, but it looked like the spikes maybe either got caught in the box or he's slipping around a little bit.
Twins outside. Correa is 14 for 28 in the 8 games that he has played here in the month of July. Check it, 7 games he has played in the month of July, hitting .500. Last 9 games, he's got a .486 average, and he's driven in 16 runs. The 2-1. 3-1. Berrios, a 2012 draft pick out of Puerto Rico. He was the compensatory pick. He was the 32nd player taken. That was the draft. Obviously, the man that he is facing, fellow countryman Carlos Correa, was the #1 overall pick. Hit a mile in the air. And that'll retire the side. We go to the second inning. Twins lead 1-0.
We move to the second. Twins on top of the Astros 1-0. It's a big day in Houston. Not only does the second half of the baseball season get started, but we're welcoming Chris Paul to Houston, who had a very nice first effort out here at Minute Maid Park by throwing out the first pitch tonight. You've had a wild day, a big press conference, met a lot of the Rockets fans over there. Come over here, throw out the first pitch. What's it been like for you?
Unbelievable. The fans have been amazing to not only me, but my family. Wish we had a game today. You know what I mean? I can't wait, and I'm so grateful for the reception.
Now, throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game, I don't know how many times you've done that in your career, but it's a little nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Nah, I played quarterback in high school, so it's just a throw.
Just another throw.
Just another throw.
A pretty nice changeup. Dallas caught it very easily. Nice job.
It's a strike, too.
It was a strike. That's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going to throw a lot of those strikes when the Rockets season starts to find a lot of those teammates. You excited about this team and the potential here?
I'm too excited. I'm too excited about the team that we have. I mean, the guys were great before I got here. I'm just trying to come here and add and continue to build.
Well, welcome to Houston. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, Bart, thank you very much. Chris Paul said all he wanted to do coming to the game tonight was meet Jeff Blum. Security wouldn't let him in.
It's pretty tight up here. It's new rebranding, new security.
AT&T Sportsnet security. Oh, by the way, Jorge Polanco.
That was after he said who?
Leading it off. Leading it off here in the second inning. Minnesota Twins on top 1-0. Got a leadoff home run from Brian Dozier in the first, and a 29-pitch first inning. Look
What's going on here?
There's your netting right there. It pays off.
I think he threw that at AJ on purpose. AJ went running for the hills.
Blame him. That ball hit, or that bat hit way up on the netting.
4. Yeah, AJ wanted no part of that.
I think more and more ballparks you're going to see have that netting right there.
Please. For that exact reason right there.
I do believe that that netting is going to be something we look at a decade from now and say, can you believe we never had that? Can you believe those seats were not netted off?
Especially this day and age with the handheld devices. It's a good look at it.
These kids
Selfie
these
time.
days.
Reenacting the look on the face when the bat was coming their way.
The bat was helicoptering towards them. So Jason Castro batting here with 1 out. Castro fouls that one off. There's Jason, a former #1 pick of the Houston Astros out of Stanford. Good talking to him in the clubhouse before the game. Still keeps a home here in Houston. So it's nice to open out of the break, get a chance to spend some downtime here in town.
It's interesting to go down there and talk to him about not being on this Astro team and seeing what they're doing. Because this is not the ball club that Jason Castro left.
I think the important thing to look at too is just, or the most impressive thing to look at is just the maturity of guys like that. And I mean maturity, I mean baseball maturity, growing into their own. With guys like Carlos Correa, Altuve's been there. but to just tweak a couple of things. You bring in Beltran, you bring in Brian McCann, you bring in Josh Reddick, and how much that has lengthened this lineup. It's lengthened it, basically it's lengthened it 1 through 9, especially when you throw in Marwin Gonzalez in the season he's having this year.
Man, yeah. Well, it's just crazy as an organization like the Houston Astros to have a game plan that they've been putting together for the last 4 or 5 years, and then to go out and say we want to get a couple more complementary pieces and have them impact the team as well as they have had was pretty impressive.
Jason Castro goes down swinging, 4th strikeout of the night for Charlie Morton.
A little bit of a power cutter, maybe a slider down and in. Castro to swing over the top.
Here's Byron Buxton, hitting .216. The 5 home runs and the 16 runs batted in. It's been a season of inconsistency for the young center fielder.
A lot of swings and misses. And that might be why you're seeing him swing early against Charlie Morton. He's not going to waste much time and see what guys have. He's going to try and attack the fastball early, because he has a tendency when he gets into those 2-strike counts of turning it into a punch out.
No balls and 2 strikes. Remember, Buxton was the #2 player taken in that 2012 draft. Correa went #1. That was I was looking back at that draft, particularly the first round.
You would look at it.
That really was a good first round. I think guys, it didn't take them long to get to the big leagues.
There's a lot of speculation on whether or not Byron Buxton was going to be a Houston Astro.
Sure.
But again, giving credit to the scouting department and Jeff Luno and his analytics crew. Picked a pretty good one in Carlos Correa. For right now, I guess it's all right.
No, I think he made the right choice. That one fouled off. Swing and a miss, got him. Morton strikes out the side. He's got 5 punch outs. Twins lead 1-0. Leading the Astros 1-0. Good to have you with us here on AT&T Sportsnet. Kevin Aschenfelder, Jeff Blum, and Bart Ennis with you here at Minute Maid Park as we start the second half of the season. Astros going for win number 61 tonight. Brian McCann leads it off here in the second. Takes strike 1. Berrios worked around a leadoff walk by George Springer in the first inning. He's working here in the second. McCann fouls that one back. Berrios just 23 years old. Check the appeal. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. McCann hitting .255 with 10 bombs and 43 runs batted in. Swing and a miss. Got him. 1 out here in the second inning. Well, season tickets for the 2018 season are now on sale. Fans who purchase season tickets can enjoy many season ticket holder benefits like guaranteed 2017 postseason priority access. Visit Astros.com/season tickets for more information. I think we buried the lead there. Postseason access. That's outside to Carlos Beltran. Carlos, a .227 hitter. He's got 11 home runs. 35 runs batted in. The switch hitter. All of his home runs this season have come batting left-handed. 3-0.
Be curious to see if Carlos makes any adjustments moving forward here in the second half of this season. Obviously not putting up numbers that he is accustomed to as far as a .227 average. Double-digit homers are nice, but the right-handed swing is yet to come around. Not getting too many of those starts because there's Evan Gattis in that lineup who they can put in that DA spot. Jake Marisnick jumps into the ball game too when they're hitting right-handed, but I'm just curious to see how the veteran will make the adjustment to try and help produce, because it's crazy to think that this lineup has a potential Hall of Famer in Carlos Beltran, and he might be the weakest link in this lineup.
Well, the Shiner Light Blonde spotlight falls on this Astros offense. Yuli Gurriel, huge part of it. 7 games this month. That's not even the best that the Astros have to offer, but he has been really, really good. A .467 average with 3 home runs. He's driven in an 11 and an OPS over 1,400. And Yuli Gurriel bats with a man aboard and 1 out here in the second. Breaking ball, strike 1.
And he's a complimentary player in this lineup, hitting .297. Think about that. He is an everyday first baseman, 11 bombs, almost 45 RBIs. But he can produce. We've actually seen him in spurts like we're seeing right now actually carry this Astros offense a little bit. We saw it in Miami when he hit the big grand slam. But a pure hitter, Yuli Gurriel, putting up some great numbers.
The crazy thing on that road trip, 2 games in Atlanta and then the 4 games in Toronto, is he hit .353 with 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. I bet I could find 4 Astros that had a higher batting average on that road trip than his .353.
You did really good, Yuli, but there's a couple other guys who did extremely good.
Hit the ball really, really hard in Toronto.
It's going to be hard to walk around this Astros clubhouse and try and puff out your chest. There's probably no room.
A ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Fans out to see the best team in the American League start the second half of the season. The guy that hangs around in the batter's box very long, is he?
Yeah, he picks one and kills it.
Two things that we've learned about Yuli. Got a pretty good eye, as well as he hits good pitching.
Yeah.
When do you face really good pitching? In the postseason. Tron goes with the 3-2 count.
That's what's so unique about Yuli Gurriel is, yeah, he may retain some of that rookie status and not have a lot of experience at the major league level, but he has been playing for a long time. In his mid-30s, he's got plenty of experience in pressure baseball playing for the Cuban national team. A lot of times I think we lose sight of that because he has such good ABs here in the big leagues.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Beltran was on the move last time. Goes again. Everybody's safe. Polanco, instead of getting in front of it, not sure if he could, tried to scoop it. It came up on him. That'll be an E6 and runners at first and second.
Sometimes you make physical errors, sometimes you make mental errors. And this one right here for a shortstop is a mental error. He was trying to be a little bit too quick and tried to go get that hop because he understood the runner at first base was off with the pitch. But you got to remember, it's Carlos Beltran, and no offense to Carlos, he doesn't run as well as he used to. So he actually had a little bit more time to sit back, get a good hop, and make sure that first out at second base. Because mentally, as an infielder, with a runner on first base, less than 2 outs, and you're trying to get that double play, you can't turn it if you don't get that first out. So you want to make sure that first out.
Here's Marwin hitting .308, 16 home runs and 53 runs batted in. A career season for Marwin Gonzalez. Breaking ball misses outside. Marwin, in in the middle of a 17-game on-base streak. There's the number that may stand out above all. This team hitting .295. That is crazy as a team with runners in scoring position.
It's extremely good.
Two balls and no strikes. It's not just been about quantity with Marwin either. You look at the quality times at bats that he's come up with. Grand slam against the Texas Rangers. Big hits when they needed it. There's another knock through the shift. Beltran rounds third. He will score, and the game is tied at 1.
And again, the Astros taking advantage of miscues by the opposing team. Error on the shortstop. Polanco leads to a runner being in scoring position in Carlos Beltran. And even with the shift on, we talked about Marwin being clutch. This is clutch right here. Every guy in this lineup is accountable to each other. And this is what happens when you are accountable. This is just the beginning. 3 quality ABs back to back to back lead to the first run for the Astros.
Alex Bregman takes strike 1. You know, maybe of all the numbers that you want to look at are the ages for these guys too. Alex Bregman, youngest third baseman in the American League, hitting .256 with 8 home runs and 27 runs batted in. Bats with Yuli in scoring position. A ball and a strike. Got better month by month. One and two. Inning started with Brian McCann striking out. And Carlos Beltran walked, went to second on that E6 and a fielder's choice. And Marwin with his 54th RBI of the season, an RBI single to right. The Astros have tied it at 1. Bregman down the left field line, and that is foul. Bregman stands in 9 for his last 23. It was a .391 average. That's what he hit on that road trip. Hit well to left. Off the wall. This will score 1, and the Astros take a 2-1 lead. Alex Bregman comes up big again with a runner in scoring position. The Astros lead it 2-1.
With all the offense going on, you got to remember 7-8-9 for the Astros are not your standard 7-8-9. He got himself a hanging breaking ball. We saw some check swings early on in this AB from Alex Bregman. Might have hinted at the fact he might have been looking for that curveball from Berrios, but right here he got himself a hanger, kept the hands back, drove through it nicely, hit it in that funky little corner out there next to the Crawford boxes, able to drive in Yuli. But here we go, back to the top of this lineup, and the second time through for this lineup to see Berrios.
That is Bregman's 8th double in his last 7 games.
The Astros like hitting doubles, huh? 46 straight games.
Extends the franchise record. They had 3 straight games in which they had 7 doubles.
That's ridiculous. And that's how you get a .500 slugging percentage. Yes, you got to drive the ball out of the ballpark, but those doubles count too.
You get bases, yeah. And all that damage done, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now you turn it over. Arguably the most dangerous leadoff man in baseball, George Springer. Outside a ball. Runners at second and third and one out.
And the reason George is unique too is because he's in that leadoff spot with all the power that he has. But his ability to hit with runners in scoring position is all done because the bottom part of this order allows it to turn over with guys on base. George wouldn't rack up 61 RBIs if that 6, 7, 8, 9 guys weren't getting on base.
That misses. It's 2-0.
Berrios is starting to beg a little bit.
Springer, a 7-game hitting streak. It's one thing to picking up a hit here, a hit there. He's hitting .548 during that 7-game hitting streak. He walked his first at bat in the first. Three and 0.
Just thinking in my head, 3-0 counts. There's been a lot of them this year. I wonder if AJ's ever put the red light on, unless maybe the score was out of control and he didn't want to.
Other than that would be the only reason.
That would be the only reason I think that he would put that red light on.
347 hitter waits on deck. There's a swing and a miss.
You just saw a 3-0 breaking ball.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
That's exactly what it is. Or it could be F-E-A-R. George knew it too. He got himself a little bit of a chuckle. But you get in those 3-0 counts and you get the green light. You go into that little league mode where you say, I'm swinging at the next pitch no matter where it is.
As hard as possible.
Yeah. Man. He almost put Marwin on the DL.
Yes, he did. Watch this.
Hot potato.
Look at him looking in.
You look at him.
Here's your angle.
Gosh, that is not a good feeling. Gary Pettis has got the right idea. He's a little bit further down that left field line.
Marwin saying,
get out of the way.
You get a secondary lead.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna hang here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Time is called. Astros with 2 runs in the inning.
I wonder if Castro asked Berrios, do you have anything that can miss his barrel?
163, a plus 163 for the Astros. And the Twins, where they are right now at minus 61, that means they've been very, very good in 1-run games. They are 10-5 in 1-run games. They have been outscored by 61 runs this season. They fouled off.
The Astros were just plus 18 in that last game they played before the break.
Kind of pushed them over the top.
Put them in the lead.
You think about the Astros were plus 24 in the series that they played against them. 10-5 in 1-run games for Minnesota Twins. 2.5 games back of Cleveland. They are 2 games over 500 at 45-43. Check swing. This is going to be trouble. That'll be an RBI single in the box score. And the Astros take a 3-1 lead. When you're going good, you're going good.
I was just going to say the same exact thing. Just touch it. Any of these Astros, if they just have competitive ABs and put it in play, has a tendency to work out. This is the extreme of it right here. As soon as it gets over Berrios right here, it's game over because George's speed will not allow Dozier to make that play.
Thumbs up.
He's telling everybody in that dugout that was a bullet. That's how it's going right there.
But you see the smiles, and everybody's happy when you win, but it just seems like everybody's having a good time. And why wouldn't you?
They might be just laughing because they can't believe it either.
One and 0. That may be the most accurate thing that's been said tonight. You don't question it, you just enjoy the ride.
Oh, absolutely.
Astros on top 3-1 here in the second inning.
This game is extremely hard. The Astros are trying to change your mind.
Altuve flying to right in his first at bat. It's inside, 2-0.
Ho-hum, another multi-run inning.
Minnesota Twins in 1961 moved to Minnesota. No one has had a higher career average against the Twins at .422 than Jose Altuve.
It's one way not to get a table when you go to Minneapolis.
Or not want to go eat at the same one.
Yeah, exactly.
3-0.
It's got to be frustrating for a young pitcher like Jose Berrios. He has a good fastball in the mid-90s, but he also has a very good breaking ball. But he's watching a team in the Houston Astros lay off some of his very, very good stuff and falling behind.
Well, Correa on one of the historic runs with his 5 consecutive 3-hit games. Swing. Foul, that went off.
3-0.
Pretty good spot for Berrios. A competitive pitch, but not an easy one to get to. Down and into Altuve, but then again, it's Jose Altuve. 3 balls and 1 strike, 1 out, throw over. Springer's back.
Good time for movement. George has 2 steals on the season.
Good time for movement in the Twins bullpen as well.
Oh,
Phil
man.
Hughes getting up to warm up.
The ex-starter.
You know, in that 3-game series in Minneapolis, the Twins have been basically a 500 club since then. But you remember the Astros went in there and just absolutely wrecked that bullpen. They had a 16-inning game the day before the Astros went in. And then Paul Molitor, you had to feel for him a little bit the way that series went through, the way the Astros went through those relievers. That is ball 4, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
I wish I could say I'd share that sentiment, but having played long enough, you have an opportunity to beat a team down, you beat them down. But yeah, it was not kind what they were doing to that Minnesota Twins bullpen out there. And there must have been 4 roster changes in that bullpen throughout the course of that 3-game series.
Well, they were sending guys out.
Oh, they were trying to find somebody to pick up innings out there. It was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't about lack of performance, although the performance was what it was. It was about guys just bringing fresh arms in from Rochester, back and forth. Josh Reddick with the bases loaded. 1 out, the Astros lead 3-1. One and 0. Reddick hitting .364 this month. That's after a .389 June. 1-1.
Oh, sweet. Championship belt is now on T-shirts. Gotta make a couple phone calls.
I think they made some new ones for the second half as well.
Maybe they just got tired of handing out belts and said, here, have a T-shirt.
1 ball and 1 strike. 1-2. Good crowd here tonight to start a 3-game weekend series here at Minute Maid Park. Berrios with the 1-2 pitch. Fouled out of play. Josh has been on a tear since coming off the disabled list. With the team made at every base. Two balls and two strikes.
Berrios is expecting a little bit of extra effort out of Jason Castro, who has been known to be able to frame some pitches back there, not getting that call.
Reddick backs out. Berrios started in that series. That was on May 30th. That was the day after the Memorial Day miracle, or meltdown, depending on which side you were looking at that time.
Exactly.
Gave up 4 runs on 5 hits and 5 innings of work. Hit to left center. This should score another run. Bregman comes home. Here's a throw to third. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Josh Reddick, and the Astros lead 4-1.
Even the Astros outs are positive. Josh Reddick doing a good job right here, elevating the outfield, knowing he has a runner on third base, less than 2 outs. Left fielder granted out there, making the catch on that routine fly ball. And how about George Springer advancing right in the face of the youngster, daring him to throw him out at third.
The benefit to that is getting to third base. It is risk reward. You obviously don't want to make the third out. You've got to know that you're going to be there, right? You got to know that you're going to now puts another thought into the pitcher's mind as well, right? As far as burying a slider, may not be able to do that as readily.
No, exactly. It opens up first base too. I mean, opens up second base also. Now Altuve is a steal threat. The pitcher has to think about him, but then you've got Carlos Correa sitting at home plate. I like having the left-handed hitting McCann behind Carlos Correa in these situations, just in the sense that if Altuve does decide to steal second base, opens up first, they choose to walk Carlos Correa, you've got a pretty lethal left-handed bat and Brian McCann waiting on deck.
Correa, the 9th Astro to bat in the inning.
But there's also situations where your manager may ask Altuve to shut it down in this situation and just let Correa hit. That might be why. 308.
2-out hits are lethal.
Oh, they're backbreakers.
The Astros hitting 308 in those situations. Runners in scoring position. A ball and 2 strikes. 4 runs in the inning. Astros leading the Minnesota Twins 4-1. Throw over. George Springer even took a closer look at that one, watching how Vargas was going to handle that baseball at first base. He got about 30 feet down the line.
Just in case. Take another way to put pressure on the defense.
Right back up the middle, RBI single. Altuve turns the corner. He'll go to third. Runners at first and third. It's a 5-run inning, and the Astros lead 5-1.
These guys are extremely good. But what I love is the fact that these Astro hitters in these 2-out, 2-strike counts, we don't see them get big. We don't see them try and leave the ballpark and do major damage. They stay up the middle of the field, find the open space, drive in runs, and just keep the train moving.
5 runs in the inning. Berrios is done. The Astros lead 5-1.
And to you by Toyota. There's the Houston Astros. I know we've been talking a lot about the offense, but they have continually gotten better month to month. You see this month in July, there's no quitting them, averaging 9.75 runs per game. And with that OPS over 1,000, they are leading Major League Baseball. They like to come into some ballparks and announce their presence with plenty of authority, 1 through 9. And I honestly could watch these highlights all day long. There are pitches all over the strike zone, but they are all pitches getting barreled up. These guys are relentless, like A.J. Hinch likes to say. They do not give away any ABs.
It was amazing to watch that Sunday game in Toronto that they won 19-1. By the way, that 18-run difference was the largest. We have stats for everything. It was the largest run differential in a game prior to the All-Star break in Major League history. So the Astros won that game 19-1. And Phil Hughes, it's his turn. He has made 9 starts this season. Now he's coming out of the bullpen for the 5th time. He'd spent some time on the disabled list.
Not even the Argonauts were going to put up enough runs to beat the Astros in Toronto that day.
The natives call them the Argos.
Now they were going to be the no-goes on that day.
The one that Evan Gattis hit, it was just an absolute line drive. And luckily it hit the facing of the 200 level at Rogers Center. Otherwise, it could have hurt somebody 380 feet away, 390 feet away. There's Brian McCann.
Gattis can go after a baseball with some malicious intent.
McCann struck out to lead off here in the 2nd inning. 5 runs in. Beltran, Gurriel, Marwin, Alex Bregman, and George Springer have all scored in the inning. McCann stays alive. 0-2.
Phil Hughes, the ex-starter. Fastball, a little bit of a cutter. So has a curveball. Oh man, those are just ouch.
Duck and cover. Don't answer the phone in the pen.
If you've got any kind of camouflage and you're going out to that Minnesota bullpen, put it on.
Runner goes. That one pulled foul. It's the 12th big league season for Phil Hughes. Made 209 starts in his career. First-round draft pick of the Yankees in 2004. McCann deep to right. Going back and gone.
The Astros are indiscriminate mashers. They could care less who's on the mound. Somebody's going to wear it. Look at this crowd.
McCann's 11th home run of the season, and you look at it.
Thank you. I was just making sure you're awake, but they are on their feet for this Astros offense. Talked about that cutter. That's a cutter down, but that's experience right there from Brian McCann, having faced Phil Hughes a couple times. Going down and getting it.
8 runs on 5 hits, a 3-run homer. And here's Carlos Beltran. Even he said before the game in your conversation with him about, can you believe this? This is...
No, he's literally, he came out of the dugout, and I just happened to be standing there, and he goes, he grabs me, and he goes, Can you believe what these guys are doing?
And this is a guy that has played on really good teams in
Yes.
Atlanta, really good teams in New York, a 7-time All-Star. This is not a bright-eyed, rookie that has never seen anything like that before.
And he proceeded to tell me that he's got the best seat in the house.
That one hit well to left. That'll bounce off the wall and a double for Carlos Beltran.
Tell you what, Ash, go down there and put a uniform on it. If it says Astros on it, you're going to get a hit.
I don't know if I take it that far, but I see your point.
Got a slice in the other way, and here at Minute Maid Park, you're going to see left fielders play in that left center field gap. And granted, the first time through here as a rookie, getting a taste of how tough it is to play left field in front of that Crawford box. That ball slicing away from him.
Beltran has already scored a run in this inning. Yuli Gurriel, who reached on a fielder's choice in an E6. He scored back earlier about 20 minutes ago as well. Ground ball to short. Polanco throws across, and that'll retire the side. But the Astros with 8 runs on 6 hits. They put a snowman on the board and they lead 8-1.
And how about that for a big inning? It's Astros on top 8-1. Time now for the Chevy Stroh poll, and today we are asking you what second half storyline is the most intriguing to you. A, team chasing some history. B, George Springer chasing some leadoff position records. C, Dallas Keuchel returning. Or D, trade possibilities. Go to @ATT Sportsnet SW to vote in today's Stroh poll. Guys, back to you.
All right, Bart, thanks a lot. You almost won the lottery right there.
Gosh, I had my money on him too.
Astros with an 8-run second inning. They lead 8-1 as we go back to the top of the order, and Brian Dozier leads it off. That's in there for a strike. I don't like keeping things from the fans. Hey, it's the rebranding night. We're AT & T Sportsnet tonight. We were wondering who would be the first one to mess that up.
We've all been sweating that. The game's not over yet.
I counted. This is my 5th different regional sports network in Houston.
Good in the sense you've been around.
Or bad in the sense that
Nobody wants to keep their name on you.
I don't know.
Us? Well, I've been here 5. This is my 3rd.
We welcome you here to AT&T Sportsnet, formerly Root Sports. And that was what we were joking about, was who would it be? First one to say old habits die hard. That's a 6th strikeout for Charlie Morton. 6 strikeouts, 2 1/3. He's walked a couple. There's Zach Granite. Granite grounded out back in the first. Strike 1. Gave the Astros 6 innings in that start. The first one in quite a while, coming off the disabled list in Toronto. A broken bat. Altuve back and makes no. He almost had it. Glove comes off, and that is the first major league hit for Zach Granite.
Jose Altuve was so mad at himself that he just spiked the glove.
He had his back to me. I thought he had the ball in his glove for a second, and then it fell out.
I'll give Granite credit for the hustle getting into second base. But watch the reaction. Altuve gets a great jump and leaps for it. It looked like I thought he had it too. This would be a good look at it. Just off the edge of the glove, and you can see him. I have never seen.
That was funny. Altuve is the absolute, I'm telling you, perfect role model for young baseball players to watch. And he'll go back and look at that and go, you know, I shouldn't have thrown that glove.
I love it. The passion of these guys is unbelievable to me. But the fact that there's an 8-1 lead and Altuve elevates and is so mad at himself that he instantaneously reacts the way he does like that. I mean, these guys are playing pitch to pitch.
Miguel Sano, that's inside. Ball and a strike. Sano struck out in the first inning. Zach Granite stands at second with that broken bat double. Fouled away. Sano, one of 3 All-Stars for the Minnesota Twins.
Put on a good battle in that home run derby.
This is not a guy who likes hitting here in this ballpark. He is 3 for 24 in his career here at Minute Maid Park. Just a .205 hitter against the Astros. Grounds that one out to Correa. Scoops and throws. There's 2 outs.
Good pitch. Talked about Charlie Morton trying to pound that inside corner on Miguel Sano at 95 with some run on the arm side. Blows up Sano. Gets that ground ball. This will be a good look at that location down and in. But again, sometimes you can miss your spot with velocity and get away with it. Tied up the big right-handed hitter.
Now he'll face the left-handed hitting Max Kepler, who walked in the first inning. Strike one. Morton had a 29-pitch first inning. Kepler was a guy that walked. When he walked, he really worked that count in that first. 266 the average. Kepler born in Berlin, Germany.
I like the way he plays the game. He has great at bats like you're talking about. Got some sneaky pop in there. Yeah, but not your conventional route to the big leagues.
He made some stops, that's for sure. A ball and 2 strikes. Outside. His parents were both ballet dancers, and they worked in the same company in Berlin, same ballet company in Berlin. His mom is from San Antonio. His dad is from Poland. Started playing baseball at the age of 6 in Little League and punches out here. 8-1 Houston.
Was a big inning for the most prolific offense in Major League Baseball right now. Marwin Gonzalez driving in a run right there. Alex Bregman got himself a hanging breaking ball, shot that into left center field, scoring Yuli Gurriel. George Springer, not the hardest hit ball in the inning, but qualifies for a hit and an RBI. Then it was followed up by very good hitting in the 2-strike count and 2 outs, and then the big swing was off McCann's bat. I'm sorry, McCann's bat. What I typically call a McCann ball. Got a little ahead of myself there.
An 8-run inning. In the last 4 games, the Astros have had at least a 6-run inning in 3 of the 4. What? They've scored at least 6 runs in an inning in 3 of their last 4 games.
You saw that graphic, an 11-run inning and 9-run inning and 8-run inning. These guys are not afraid to put up multiple runs in 1 inning.
There's Marwin, who had the RBI single in the 2nd inning. That drove in the Astros' first run of the night. Astros scoring 8 runs in that bottom of the second inning. Chased the starter, Jose Berrios. Berrios finished his night. Marwin to center. Hit high, hit deep. Buxton is back, and it's gone. '17th home run of the season for Marwin Gonzalez, and it's 9-1.
I appreciate Marwin letting us get some highlights in before he added one of his own. Center cut fastball driven deep to center field. Crawford Crushers are back at it.
That one dead central. Second home run of the night, second home run in the last 4 hitters for the Astros.
A little rusty, but that miles per hour off the bat of Marwin Gonzalez was 101.9, an estimated 421 feet to dead center. Buxton's a guy that can go get it 2 out there in center field. The one way you can make sure that he doesn't get it is by hitting it into the seats.
Astros have 7 hits, 4 of which have been for extra bases. Bregman stands in with nobody out. A 2-0 count, make it 2-1. Bregman doubled, and an RBI double in the second inning. Astros continuing their streak of 2 base hits as a franchise. They have doubled now in 47 consecutive games. Previous record for the club was 38. It's the 3rd longest in Major League history. 2001 Devil Rays, most recent at best of that mark. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hit high in the air. Sano over.
George Springer, we talked about the Astros offense in July, is led by this man right here, Superman George Springer, laying it out there at a .476 average, 3 bombs, 9 RBIs. That's on only 8 games this month. Playing a great center field, right field, left field, wherever you need him. First time All-Star. George is putting up MVP type numbers and not slowing down here in July.
And the RBI single that went all of about 75 feet. Just tapped it with the bat, went off the plate and over Berrios' glove. RBI single in the scorebook.
So George has probably hit his shortest base hit of the season against the Minnesota Twins while hitting
his longest.
One of the longest hits of his season in Minnesota that traveled 473 feet.
You were in the ballpark.
Oh,
you could just hear that that's different.
Well,
not just necessarily see it, but just hear that that's different.
No, you're right. It jumped off the bat. It was loud, but the trajectory and the speed at which it came off, you could sense in the ballpark that something not normal was happening. And by the time that ball landed, we all had witnessed what had now the farthest ball that George Springer's ever hit.
3 balls and no strikes. 1 month ago, George was hitting .277. Came into this game tonight with a batting average 33 points higher. And he takes a walk. In an OPS, on base plus slugging, 114 points higher than he was just 1 month ago.
yet he has the patience of a guy who doesn't have a lot of pop and is just trying to get on base.
Altuve 0 for 1. Walked in the second. Phil Hughes in relief. Jose Berrios takes ball 1. A ball and a strike. Altuve hitting .500 here in the month of July. 16 for 32. A couple of home runs and 10 runs batted in.
Oh yeah, this guy can hit. 7 games this month of July, hitting .516, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Just in case you're wondering if the little fella can still swing it.
At home, on the road. Been way better on the road, but still. He's at a historic rate away from Minute Maid Park. And that guy waits on deck. Who's hitting .325. We'll wait on that breaking ball and fouls it off to the right side. Talked to Jose before the game tonight. He really was very excited about the trip to Miami. He said he had a really good time. It was good to relax and get away and spend that time with his all-star teammates. Really a chance to share it with that infield. I thought was that he and Correa and Springer. There's a base hit to left. Chris Davinsky, Dallas Keuchel obviously didn't get a chance to pitch in the all-star game, but also Lance McCullers.
I agree. You could really sense the fact, obviously Altuve is the salty veteran when it comes to all-star games. But he really had an opportunity to share that with those guys, and I think he truly appreciated it. You could see the joy when these guys play on a regular basis, but it looked like there was a little more emphasis on having a good time and allowing those guys to really embrace that first opportunity in their first all-star game for Springer, Correa, Davinsky, McCullers.
Well, the 117th hit of the season for Jose Altuve. That brings up Josh Reddick. A sacrifice fly in that second inning. 8-run second inning. The Astros with 8 in the second, 1 more here in the third. They have runners at first and second with 1 out. Minnesota starter Jose Berrios lasted just an inning and 2/3. Strike 1 to Reddick. Astros sent 12 men to the plate in the second inning. If this continues here in the third, they have a chance of messing up our scorebooks in a big bad way. Getting used to that, aren't you?
Yeah, I've had to replenish my pens already once this year. I'm gonna have to do it again.
Out a highlighter?
Yeah.
No balls and 2 strikes. Ryan Presley is warming up for the Minnesota Twins. Saw the right-hander working in the bullpen. The 0-2. Hit on the ground, base hit to right. Springer being waved, the throw to the plate. He's safe. Reddick with his 43rd run batted into the season, second of the night. The Astros extend the lead for the 15th time this season. They reach double digits in runs.
Remarkable stuff. Gary Pettis, fresh off knee surgery, waving George Springer home. By the end of the season, he's going to need rotator cuff surgery from waving everybody home. And obviously the tactic again for the speed on the Astros bases is to challenge every outfield arm when there's a base hit.
Well, the Astros, who would have thought that in the month of July, when you come in averaging 9 3/4 runs per game, that you got a chance in your first game out of the All-Star break to raise that average? Well, they're going to do that tonight.
Well, I'm curious how many teams around the league, because I really feel like over this All-Star break with the Astros having 6 All-Stars really gained a lot of national exposure. I wonder how many teams are looking at the Astros scoreboard wondering if they're going to come out of the break and how they're going to be. And they put up a 10 spot right here. Carlos Correa getting in on that action also in this month. Only 7 games, 500 average, 12 RBIs, 4 bombs.
And an OPS of just under 1,600.
These aren't normal phrases in baseball.
On base plus slugging of 1598. There's a swing and a miss. Yeah, I said it, 1598.
You give me a 7-iron and put the golf ball on home plate, I'm not sure I could do that in 7 games.
Correa 1 for 2. He singled in the second. Astros lead 10-1. Two balls and 2 strikes. The last time Charlie Morton pitched, the Astros won 12-2.
So this is better so far.
I think Charlie will take it either way. The thing is, we're in the 3rd inning. Three balls and 2 strikes. Astros 10 runs on 9 hits.
5th time in the last 7 games they've scored double digits.
15th time this season.
That's unbelievable.
So much for the All-Star break, breaking some offensive momentum.
Yeah.
Strike 3 call. 2 outs.
Pitcher's pitch. It's going to happen even to the best. Working that down and away part of the zone right here. Carlos might have been looking for something else. Instead, Phil Hughes paints that outside corner.
Brian McCann had a 3-run home run in the 2nd inning. His 11th bomb of the season. A mile in the air. Buxton in. He'll make the catch, and that'll retire the side. But the Astros put 2 more on the board. They're in double figures. Dead central for Marwin. It's 10-1 Houston. Welcome you back here to Minute Maid Park alongside Jeff Blum, Kevin Eschenfelder with you. Bart Ennis. Look at the sidelines tonight. Julia Morales will be hosting the post-game show along with Mike Stanton. Glad to have you here tonight on AT&T Sportsnet. The Astros on top of the Minnesota Twins 10-1. 8-run 2nd inning, 2 more in the 3rd as Robbie Grossman, the former Astro, leads it off here in the 4th. Todd Callis enjoying an extended All-Star break. He'll be back with you on Monday. Grossman walked into first, swing and a miss. 2-1. Balls and a strike. Grossman came up as an Astro in 2013. He was with Houston in 2013, 14, and 15. Fouls it back.
Love it. Fans getting in on the. You look at it. I'll tell you what, we're all looking at a pretty epic offense.
There's ball 4. Grossman takes the walk. Robbie Grossman came to the Astros in the Wandy Rodriguez trade from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Name out of the past. Kenny's Vargas bats now with a man on first and nobody out after the leadoff walk from Robbie Grossman. Vargas caught looking in the second, make it in the first inning to retire the side in that first. Wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts to this game for the Astros. Dozier led the game off with that home run. Couple of walks for Morton in the first inning too. A 29-pitch first inning. Oh, and 2. Strike 3 call. 8th punch out for Charlie Morton. Second time Kenny's Vargas has been had looking.
First AB looking on the breaking ball. Here you see working out to in. Not a very well located on the outside corner where McCann wants it, but still 96 miles an hour in that part of the zone is tough to catch up to.
Jorge Polanco struck out in the second. Morton struck out the side in that second inning. Polanco has had his way with Astros pitching. A ball and is making 2 balls and no strikes. Didn't go. He has hit in all 7 of his career games against the Astros. Fouled in the seats on the right side. Making a 380 or making a 393 clip as well during those 7 games. Bring your glove, you may as well use it. Here's the 3-1. Count goes full.
Talked about all the starting pitching on the DL. Charlie Morton is one of those guys, missed a couple of starts. If there is a silver lining, it's the fact that these guys have been able to work their way back into this rotation. You'd love to see Dallas Keuchel work himself back into that rotation just because of how well he was pitching. Colin McHugh, we've heard good reports from him coming back. Get him back in that rotation, but the silver lining might be the fact that they did have a little bit of an extended rest. We always hear about pitch limits, pitch counts, what these guys are going to do, but that time off on the DL allows to back these guys up a little bit. Special Kroger family 4-packs are available for $60 at Sunday home games, including this Sunday's game against the Twins. For more info on Kroger Family Sundays, visit astros.com/Sundays or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Colin McHugh will make a rehab start in Corpus Christi on Sunday for the Corpus Christi Hooks. Still no word on Dallas Keuchel, still keeping it conservative right now. Jason Castro struck out in the second inning. .222 hitter for Jason Castro. Castro had the big season, the first-round draft pick for the Astros. He was an all-star. But it's been a marked improvement at that position between Brian McCann and Evan Gattis. No balls and 2 strikes. He had a home run in that series against the Astros in Minneapolis.
Yeah, he jumps Tony Sipp to dead center.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Swing and a miss, 2 outs. 9th strikeout for Charlie Morton.
Good curveball, too. Good to see Charlie Morton bouncing back. I know he doesn't want to walk those guys, especially with this lead, but here with a couple of runners on, able to go to that breaking ball to get the punch out of Jason Castro.
In that series, the Astros beat the Twins 16-8. That was the Memorial Day game, which the Astros had the 11-run 8th inning. They won the next game 7-2, and then they won the finale of the 3-game series 17-6. It was a franchise record 40 runs scored in a 3-game series. Byron Buxton, number 9 hitter. Bats with 2 outs, 2 on here in the 4th. A ball and a strike. First of a 6-game homestand for the Astros. Seattle Mariners come to town starting on Monday. It is back out on the road again to Baltimore. Philadelphia for 3 and then Detroit for 3. A 9-game road trip. Able to hold up. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Not sure if you can hear it at home, but did you hear Brent Strom
Come on,
screaming at Charlie Morton? This is not the guy you want to walk. This guy's a high strikeout rate. Charlie has good enough stuff, obviously, today to go out there and punch some guys out.
It's back into the count. You're hearing that, a boy. Well, Charlie Morton, this is his 8th start here at Minute Maid Park. He's 4-1 with an ERA of 3. An opponent's hitting just .234 here at Minute Maid Park when Charlie Morton is on the mound.
I think the Astros on the whole, as a pitching staff, love pitching here at Minute Maid Park, as odd as that sounds. The history and the reputation of this ballpark doesn't favor the pitcher.
Runners go, and it's ball 4. That is the 5th walk issued by Charlie Morton, and Brian McCann is going to make his way out to the mound.
These are always interesting conversations. A couple of veterans are going to chat it out right here. But everything that Brian's going to say to Charlie is he's just going to shake his head and go, I know.
I know.
Just a matter of Charlie Morton making the adjustment.
Pitch count is getting up as well. Sitting at 83 pitches here in the top of the 4th inning. Two big reasons: 9 strikeouts and 5 walks. Those are lengthy at bats. Dozier 1 for 2. Led the game off with that home run. Batting with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the 4th, and McCann again. 1 pitch later makes his way back out to the mound.
This might be a little more of a conversation as far as what what signals they're going to go with the runner at second base. First sign after 2. Probably the most commonly used signal from catcher to pitcher.
There's the 0-1 foul back. I had that conversation with Adam Everett about signals and signs from the. Because Adam told me, he goes, I wanted to know everything at shortstop. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to know what the pitch was going to be thrown. And he said how intricate. He was explaining it to me, and I just looked at him. And he was like, "What?" And I just looked at him with a blank stare. Whether it's 6 is a 2-seam fastball, we'll go first number or first sign plus the 3rd sign. It was amazing how complex they can get.
Pitchers have a tendency sometimes to outthink themselves.
Foul back.
They always think they're the most athletic.
He was talking
smartest, but I'd like to argue that sometimes.
You thought it was shortstops and third baseman.
Yeah, we were always the one helping them out.
Crowd gets into it. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Astros leading 10-1. Hit well to left. That's off the wall. Extra bases. And that'll score 3. And the Twins fight back to make it a 10-4 ball game.
Self-inflicted damage. 3 walks led to those bases being loaded, and then a mistake pitch right here being left elevated up out over the plate. Luckily, Dozier gets it off the end of the bat. Marwin gave it a pretty good chase into that corner. Tried to get it back in quickly, but with the walk of Buxton, who runs at a high rate of speed around the bases, scores easy.
Plus 2 outs, he's going on the flight of the ball. So Dozier has driven in all 4 of the Twins' runs tonight. Solo home run and a 3-run double. It's off the plate to Zach Granite. He doubled in the 3rd. Twins have just 3 hits. Dozier's got 2, and Zach Granite, the 2-hole hitter, has the other one. One ball and 1 strike. Three and 1. James Hoyt begins to throw in the Astros bullpen. If you like offense, you've come to the right place. Broken bat. And Bregman puts it away to retire the side. 10-4. Houston on top. Miracle Memorial Day meltdown. The Astros with that incredible come-from-behind win on May 30th when they went to work. It was May 29th. Late in that ball game, an 11-run 8th inning after trailing big in the ball game.
Minnesota just could not find a way to get out of that inning. Pitcher after pitcher coming in. Earlier in that game, Buxton came out, the hand laceration, which led to some of the shift in the outfield. putting an infielder in left fielder, moving the left fielder to center field. Some of those guys were put on the spot, unable to come up with some big plays. But the Astros all year long have really come up and taken advantage of mistakes put on by the other team.
Urban Santana went 7 innings. He couldn't get anything going in that 8th, and that is when it was turned over to Ryan Presley, who got just 1 out, but not before giving up 5 earned runs on 3 hits. And the aforementioned Ryan Presley toes the rubber now.
Almost cranked out as many hits as Elvis did in that ball game. I'm not sure Ryan's going to have, he doesn't want to have those flashbacks.
Carlos Beltran fouls that one off. It's 0-2. Carlos had a double in the 3rd. He's 1 for 1. Walked and scored in the 2nd. Scored the Astros' first run. That was on a Marwin Gonzalez RBI single. Paul Mahler's got to be thinking, what do I have to do with my bullpen against this Astros team?
There's a lot of bullpens asking that question.
Well, a starter doesn't go 2 innings. And every team has been there and done that. He had to be thinking to himself, I've seen this movie somewhere before. And the Astros put an 8 spot on the board in the 2nd inning. In that series, Twins relievers combined to allow 28 runs. 26 were earned in 9 innings out of the pen.
As a reliever, you carry around that ERA for quite a while.
Seems like it takes a lot longer to make it go down than it does. One bad start, next thing you know, an ERA will balloon on you. Presley came in that 8th. 5 runs allowed. Working here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The guy that can rush it up there, mid-90s. You saw just a moment ago that 96-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-2 count to Carlos Beltran.
He's also got a curveball and a slider. Talked about the damage the Astros have done against Ryan Presley. He has pitched a 1/3 of an inning against the Astros. He's given up 4 hits, 7 earned runs, equaling an ERA of 189 against the Astros.
No bueno. Not good. Astros starting a 6-game homestand. They're 27-18 here at home. 60-29 overall. This will be the 12th pitch of the at-bat. And it's a single up the middle.
Carlos out of the break. 2 knocks today. Fighting off some tough pitches. Finally gets one he can handle. Shoots it right back up the middle.
Yulia is 0 for 2, but reached and scored in the 2nd inning. Oh, look out.
Are you kidding me?
That was
No, he just threw 12 pitches to Carlos Beltran all around the zone. That one squares him up right in the lower back. This game's out of hand. I don't want to imply intention, but just maybe that baseball sense kind of gives you a little bit.
You've got that sixth sense for knowing what's going on the baseball field, the feel for what's going on.
And I just hope that it's a pitch that got away from Ryan Presley, knowing that the Astros have done monumental damage to his ERA. He's putting himself in a precarious position by putting a guy on, by squaring him up right in the back.
Interestingly enough, Yuli wasn't in that starting lineup against Ryan Presley.
Well, that was my initial reaction too. I was trying to recall, but thankfully you looked it up.
He wasn't in the lineup that day. It was actually Marwin who played first base in that game. Fouled off. You know what I do remember though from that series? You remember in the finale of that 3-game series in Minnesota, Yuli swung 3-0.
Good
when the
call.
Astros had a big lead, and I think there was some looks back and forth from the dugout. Yuli understanding or maybe not understanding.
Well, there's
the
a
Major
language
League
barrier
Baseball
to begin with,
side of
also,
things.
but then the baseball. The unwritten rules that we keep hearing about. When you've got a monster lead, you don't swing 3-0 trying to embarrass the other team.
And the Astros won that game 17-6. That's
Good
we're just
recall right there.
Total speculation. We're just looking back and thinking of what kind of history can you come up with, and that's the only thing I can think of. But I know there was some looks from one dugout to the other.
Well, our understanding was that there was a miscommunication between A.J. Hinch, Yuli, Gary Pettis trying to understand, give him the red light on that 3-0 count. And then when he did swing, A.J. Hinch caught the eye of Paul Molitor, and there was a conversation saying, "What? We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. We get it." Yep. They totally understood the situation, but not to be overlooked.
I'm just wondering. That's the only thing I can come up with. That we would even tie that back.
It's a
Back to Ryan
great
Presley.
call.
Astros on top 10-4. Paul Molitor. A great career he put together. And his team has exceeded all expectations here in 2017. Worst team in baseball a year ago. Marwin up the middle, base hit. That'll load the bases on Marwin Gonzalez's third hit of the night.
Remember back when the Astros went through Minnesota, they were in first place, now 2.5 games behind the Cleveland Indians, who seem to have their pitching going.
I think Kansas City's got a little gas in the tank. They seem like they've been playing much better baseball. You know that the talent is there.
Well, you just worry, much like the Astros last year, how much of the early start for them is going to prove to be the nemesis of what they've tried to do here recently.
That one career grand slam came at Yankee Stadium, his first home run of the season. Bit of a knee buckler there. It's 0-1.
Well, it just makes sense. First home run of the second half should be a grand slam.
I like the way you bring it all together. Bases loaded, nobody out. Another breaking ball and a good one. It's 0-2. Put your mind in Presley's head now when you say back-to-back nasty breaking balls. Do you triple up or waste one away?
Bury it. Or just hang out a rock at the left field. Jeez.
Just foul. Now remains 0-2. Beltran led off the fourth with a single. Yuli was hit by a pitch. He's at second. And Marwin is at first with a single. Swing and a miss, got him. One out in the fourth.
Good slider to get the punch out, but you're not out of the woods by any means at all.
Springer 1 for 1. He has walked twice and scored twice. Also drove in a run in the second. Oh and 1. Brian Dozier has driven in all 4 of the Minnesota runs. The Astros have had an 8-run second, 2-run third. Have the bases loaded with 1 out here in the fourth. Didn't get cheated. It's 0-2. 27 home runs before the All-Star break for George Springer, 2 off the franchise record. Lance Berkman has that. It's 3 off of what Aaron Judge is doing. 30 bombs for the Yankee slugger.
I haven't heard much about that Judge guy. Is he good?
Yeah, he's pretty good. You should look up his. I think you can find him on the YouTube.
Find a couple highlights.
Could be 2. And they turn the double play. So the Astros had the bases loaded, nobody out, but don't score. They lead 10-4. That is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Shoppa's Farm Supply, your John Deere dealer along the Gulf Coast. Come by one of our 8 area locations. Shoppa's, all things John Deere. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger combo for $4.99. Limited time only. Kevin Eschenfelder and Jeff Blum with you upstairs. Bart Ennis down on the sidelines, and that is a hit by pitch for Sano. And so Sano will take his base. Miguel Sano reaches for the first time tonight. Glad to have you with us tonight here on AT&T Sportsnet. The Astros leading this one 10-4. 4 runs on 3 hits and an error for the Twins. 10 runs on 11 hits for the Houston Astros.
Charlie Morton's command has got to be a concern for the Houston Astros.
Michael Feliz begins to throw in the Astros bullpen. That is just what he needed. And did he drop it, or was it on the transfer? He's safe at second base. What should have been a double play ball may have been a low toss. And so now runners at first and second. See how they rule this.
Had a real opportunity to pick up Charlie Morton right here, but the next shortstop, that was low and to the left. And the reason it's bad on the left-hand side is because you can see the glove is on the left hand. So you could, big guy like Carlos Correa having to reach back across his body and down, unable to secure it.
That is an error on Carlos Correa.
I'm not sure if they gave that error on the position they thought was playing shortstop, but I'm giving that error to Alex Bregman for me. I thought that was a bad flip. If it's a relatively decent flip, Correa is going to pick it.
What could easily have been A double play ball, what should have been a double play ball. Now you've got runners at first and second with nobody out. And a pitcher that has already thrown 94 pitches.
No, that would have been a big double play for Charlie Morton and this bullpen.
So at E6, Kepler reaches on the fielder's choice. Robbie Grossman walked and scored. He's walked both times, both plate appearances tonight. Morton has walked 5 and he's hit a batter. He gets the punch out there through a 3-pitch strikeout of Robbie Grossman, and there's 1 away.
Might have been a little bit of angst behind that AB for Charlie Morton. It's a very good breaking ball down.
Kenny Vargas has been called out on strikes in both of his at-bats tonight. It was the 3rd time this season that Charlie Morton has had a 10 strikeout game or had a double-digit strikeout game. Bounce to Yuli, and he dropped the ball. Thought about going to second, and then as he was making the transfer to run to the bag at first, just let the ball fall to the ground. But what has been one of the best defensive teams in Major League Baseball, wheels have come off defensively here in this inning.
You have to excuse me. I was taking a little bit of a deep breath because I'm feeling some of the frustration that you're seeing from those Houston fans, because this is, like you said, this is a good defensive team, or can be a better defensive team. There are outs out there to take. You take the outs when you get them. You don't overcomplicate it by trying to make the exceptional play. When you've got a 6-run lead, you've got a pitcher who's struggling with command, and you get a ground ball that'll get you at least 1 out, you get that out before you think about doing anything else.
Here's Jorge Polanco, who loves hitting against the Astros. He bats with the bases loaded and 1 out. Astros leading 10-4 in the top of the 5th inning.
And I don't think any of us expect Yuli to make exceptionally incredible plays at first base. We just want to see the outs made when there's an opportunity.
Especially with a 6-run lead.
Yes.
You take the out at first base. Sure, there's going to be 2 runners in scoring position, but you get that second out of the inning.
Robbie Grossman should have been the last out of this inning. There's only 1 out in this inning, and it's Robbie Grossman.
There's a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Morton's got 10 strikeouts as Michael Feliz looks like he is ready to go. A 100 pitch night for Charlie Morton.
You know it's going to be tough if AJ has to come out and take Charlie Morton out of this game, because he had an opportunity to qualify for the W.
Obviously, if you follow this team, you know all too well this is just his 2nd start since coming off the disabled list. That one hit to center. Here's the tag to throw to 3rd, so the run scores and make it a 10-5 game. A sacrifice fly and an RBI for Jorge Polanco. Finally, somebody other than Brian Dozier drives in a run tonight for the Minnesota Twins. Not out of the woods yet. Runners at first and second. Jason Castro, the man, steps into the batter's box. He's punched out twice tonight. Strike one. Morton had a 12 strikeout game on April 28th against Oakland. He struck out 10 Yankees on May 14th at the stadium. He's got 10 strikeouts tonight and a 5-run lead. Trying to get through the 5th. Good breaking ball. Foul back. Bouncer to Yuli. They step on the back. Twins get a run. The Astros lead it after 4.5, 10-5.
The Astros have 10 of them. The Astros take on the Twins at Minute Maid Park tomorrow, and 10,000 fans will get a Carlos Correa Handshake Series bobblehead presented by Houston Methodist. For more info, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. And remember, this bobblehead completes the handshake set between him and Altuve. Must have, especially if you got that Altuve one sitting at home looking for a friend.
One more reason to come out and see the best team in the American League. The Astros going for their 61st victory of the season. So Buddy Boshears comes in to pitch for the Minnesota Twins, making his 16th appearance. No record with a .386 ERA. Giving up 22 hits in 21 innings this year.
There's his fastball around 90 to 92 miles an hour. Has a changeup and a curveball.
Here's Jose Altuve. 1 for 2. Walked in the second, single in the third. Bats here in the 5th. The Astros leading. And Altuve rips this one down the left field line. He'll turn the corner at first, head into second with a double. Second hit of the night. He is 1 hit away from 6 straight 3-hit games. Altuve's 26th two-base hit.
Mistakes lead to damage, especially against the Houston Astros. Altuve pulling the hands in nicely against the left-hander for a double. And here they come again.
Leadoff man on again for Houston. Here is Josh Reddick. Ball 1. Busy night on the scorecard. Popped out to shortstop. Second inning, a sacrifice fly and an RBI, and a single and an RBI in the third. Out in front of that one. Two and 1.
Josh has done a very good job against left-handed pitchers this season. He's had 50 plate appearances, 4 walks, but he's only punched out 9 times, and he's hitting .318.
Put together good numbers here at Minute Maid Park as well. The broken bat roller. He's out at first. Altuve advances to third base. The way things are going tonight, they'll take every run you can get.
And either way, that's a positive AB. A.J. Hinch is telling them that they're looking at it. I don't think they're going to challenge it. But that's a good AB by Josh Reddick. Even with the 5-run lead, you're looking to score more. And this moving Altuve to third base is a good way to do it with Correa coming up. And how about 7 games this season? The opposing pitcher has gone less than 3 innings. That's second in all of Major League Baseball to the Chicago White Sox.
Which is somewhat surprising.
Yeah, considering the difference in records.
There's an intentional pass. They'll walk Carlos Correa, put runners on the corners for Brian McCann. I still haven't gotten used to that, just seeing him point to first base.
Yeah, it's going to take a while just to assume and watch for that point to first base.
Brian McCann, a big blow in this game, a 3-run home run. Breaking ball's in there, lefty on lefty. Here's a 4th-round draft pick in 2008 of the Angels. Working here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Last worked on Sunday before the All-Star break. It was in a 5-1 loss to the Baltimore Orioles. Gave up a run in the inning in that ball game. Fouled away. It's not been a good go here as of late for the left-hander. He's allowed 4 runs in his last 3 outings.
Good team to be facing then.
No one ever
if you want to continue that stretch.
To stay consistent. Strike 3 call. Big out on Brian McCann. There's 2 away. Beltran has had some good swings tonight. He had the double that kind of hit off the end of the bat down that left field line, but solid single up the middle in his last AB.
Good time to go out and get number 1 too. Was yet a home run from the right side.
I would love to hear that conversation. As someone who's never come close to playing at this level, just to hear what is said.
It depends on the situation and the personnel. Because you get the right guy on the mound, those conversations can get very interesting very quick. And know I constantly bring up Doug Brocail, but he is always one of the more interesting guys to have on the mound when you're having a meeting.
The stories, he's had plenty of those as the pitching coach of the Texas Rangers. Doug, one of the great guys in this game, but also one of the guys that a lot of great stories about Doug Brocail.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to have him on a couple of my ball clubs with the Padres and here with the Astros. Doug is one of those guys, even if they would, he would just make up reasons to go to the mound.
It's outside. You see on the old baseball films, Tim McCarver talking about Cardinal manager would tell him to go out there and stall a little bit. Bob Gibson would be out on the mound. He's thinking, what am I going to say to Bob Gibson? Bob Gibson will tell him the only thing you know about pitching is it's hard to hit. Send him back behind the plate. On the left side, good scoop and throw, and that'll retire the side. We're through 5 in Houston. Astros lead 10-5. The Feliz comes in here to work in the 6th inning. Will make your mark at Minute Maid Park with a customized brick that will welcome fans into the ballpark for seasons to come. Order your commemorative brick now at astros.com/bricks. Well, Charlie Morton goes 5 innings. It was a busy night for Charlie Morton. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks. Now he makes way for Michael Feliz. This is a guy that the Astros would really like to get going back in the right direction. 4-2 as he makes the appearance tonight for the 37th time. ERA of 3.86.
He's got the stuff to do it. Power fastball, power slider.
You know, we've talked a lot about starters not going as deep with this Astros team, and that's just been part of what's been going on this season. But I got the feeling as a layman watching this, as Michael Feliz was one of those guys that it looked like he may have fatigued a little before the All-Star break, and a guy that the All-Star break would probably do a lot of good for. He works here in the 6th inning. Byron Buxton, who walked and scored in the 4th. Scored from first on Brian Dozier's 3-run double. Swing and a miss.
Good look at the firm fastball out of the right arm of Michael Feliz.
One and two. That's high. Well, Buxton was the number 2 player taken in that 2012 draft. Correa, of course, number 1 overall. Mike Zunino went 3rd. Kevin Gossman, Baltimore Orioles starter, he went 4th. Other guys, though, in that draft, Addison Russell, Corey Seager. This was in the 1st round. Michael Wacha, Marcus Stroman was in there. Tonight's starting pitcher for the Minnesota Twins as well. He was the 32nd player taken in the draft. Jose Berrios.
Too many mistakes in those.
Hit well to left, out of one hop the wall, and Buxton will head into second base with a sliding double.
He almost runs too fast. He's got to create a turn early. Floats out of that box. Got a hold of that pitch from Michael Feliz to lead off this 6th inning.
Can't play it any better than Marwin did right there.
But you can see that graceful stride. He almost turns that corner too sharply. It makes it in easily.
Well, leadoff double for Buxton, and that brings up the man of the match for the Minnesota Twins. That would be Brian Dozier. 2 for 3. led off the game with the home run. A 3-run double in the 4th. It's 2 for 3. A mile in the air on the infield. Correa. 1 out.
At this point in this game, that's a big out.
The Twins got a run in the 1st. They got 3 in the 4th and 1 more in the 5th. And what has felt like a blowout all night long after that 8-run second inning by the Astros is a 5-run game now, 10-5. Zach Greinke got his first major league hit in his previous at bat. Broken bat double, just off the outstretched glove of Jose Altuve. A ball and a strike. Feliz pitched in that series against Toronto, went 2/3 of an inning. It was on the Friday night game. Struck out 1. Among American League relievers, he's 5th in strikeouts. Buxton got to him for a leadoff double here in the inning. That conversation's about. I went number 1. I doubt it. Three and 1.
I would imagine that they know each other pretty good. Come up through the minor leagues. Probably at every showcase leading up to the draft.
Buxton is from Georgia. Three balls and 1 strike. Make it 3 and 2.
It just looks like Michael Feliz is having issues repeating the delivery in that release point.
Correa again. Got about 400 feet high worth of pop-ups in this inning.
They've been camped under him for a while. Get off the video game, kid. You're missing a great game from a great seat. Mom and Dad paid a lot of money for those.
That area out there in center field, there's so many, you know, we do the pre and post game shows from out there. It's so many really neat areas that they've utilized the space by taking out Towles Hill. They really have done a magnificent job here at Minute Maid Park. Making it much more fan friendly, getting a chance to go to different ballparks around the country. It reminds me a lot in the outfield out there. It reminds me a lot of Citi Field.
Yeah.
In New York, which is one of the more underrated ballparks. You think New York, you think Yankee Stadium.
Well, you lined up next to Shea Stadium and everything looks good.
The Vet, Philadelphia.
Oh, come on.
They've really done a nice job out there. A lot of things, a lot of fan-friendly areas out there. The restaurants, chance to. Yes, that Ivy is a video Ivy.
And they'll only do that right when the pitcher's on the mound.
Is that right? Yeah, well, it turns into
in between innings, they'll
become
mix
a
it up.
display. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, they've done an extremely good job. And we keep hearing about how they went to different ballparks around the league and kind of picked what they liked best and tried to institute that here.
Sano to left. Ball again, a mile in the air, and it is foul. Not by much.
Ball was in the air a long time. Luckily long enough to go foul. Good look at it down that left field line.
Oh, that got that guy right. Put his hands up, but didn't make the play.
Oh, where it
Told you.
It's going to leave a mark.
I hope he got the baseball.
Insult to injury would be the guy next to him. Just look what I got.
He's going to have lace marks.
He's got Rob Manfred's signature right on his chest. Commissioner of Baseball has his autograph on every baseball.
I understand. I was with you.
Just making sure that more people.
18th pitch of the inning for Feliz. Called strike two. And those who don't know as well, lace marks, when a baseball hits you, it will leave a red welt in the exact marking of what the laces look like on a baseball. Three and two.
Speaking of Rob Manfred, this is his dream game, isn't it? It's flying. 99 on the outside black. Might have locked up Lance, the home plate umpire.
3 and 2. Outside, walks Sano, and there's 2 on with 2 outs.
No chase from big right-handed hitter. Showing good patience, too. Almost went deep in that AB.
Brent Strom comes out.
There are some conversations like you were talking about, Kevin, where you want to be on the mound for. This probably is not one that you want to be out there for. And we've noted, take note, too, you see Carlos Correa out there quite a bit, and sometimes with some of these young Latin pitchers, you will see Carlos out there just because he will help AJ Hinch or Brent Strom maybe translate and reinforce the fact of what he's trying to get across to Michael Feliz.
Fair to say that Feliz knows what he said.
Yes.
But Correa's there to tell him what he means.
Yes.
If that makes any sense. The message has been delivered, and the All-Star Chris Davinsky is up in the Astros pen.
AJ Hinch is waiting to see if this is a good visit from Brent or a bad visit.
1-0. 2 outs. Max Kepler, the batter. Kepler was reached twice. Walked in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. Two and 0. Designated hitter Robbie Grossman waits on deck. Feliz, though, trying to take care of business here with 2 outs. Facing Max Kepler. Now, Kepler signed by the Twins at the age of 16. He was talked about the story earlier. He grew up in Berlin, Germany. At that time, he signed for $800,000. The largest signing bonus given by a major league franchise to a European-born player.
It's a pretty good effort by the union, putting ex-major leaguers over there in Europe to try and coach some of these kids up.
Art Howe was one of those guys that would go over there.
They're trying to make baseball a worldwide sport and get some of the best talent in the world to come out here and play in Major League Baseball. So Max Kepler is an example of that.
You know, another guy, native Houstonian, Johnny McLaren. A lot of old-time baseball People will know that name. He's bench coach a long time with Seattle Mariners and Tampa. He was with
actually Tampa.
Yeah, he was with Luke. They followed Lou Pinello around a little bit. He spent a lot of time coaching in clinics over there. Art Howe went over there and taught, coached in Pisa in Italy. He would go during
Not
the
a
summer.
bad gig if you can get it.
Not at all. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning. You will see what that man wants to do.
Veteran move right here by Carlos Correa, trying to give a little more time for Chris Davinsky out there in that bullpen to get loose.
And here comes AT Hinch. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. And Chris Davinsky come in from the bullpen. The Astros make a pitching change. Leading at 10-5. It is Devo time here at Minute Maid Park as Chris Davinsky comes in, the All-Star, making his 36th appearance of the season, 6-3, and 2.73 ERA.
Great numbers on the season for Devo. Well deserved being in that All-Star game. And what we thought was going to be a laugher with what the offense was doing with 8 runs in the second, 2 in the third, scoring 10 runs. You figured with Charlie Morton out there, you wouldn't be in a situation where you'd have to see a guy like Chris Davinsky, but with a couple of walks and a double, Michael Feliz is out of this ball game, and Chris Davinsky's got to stay out of some serious damage right here.
After that 8-run second, you would have not thought that you'd see the tying run on deck. That's the case right now.
And as good as this bullpen is, they have been taxed here recently. They all got, well, most of them got a couple days off. Devo did not go into that All-Star game. But of all those guys out there, I'm with AT Hinch in the sense that I feel comfortable with a guy like Chris Davinsky to be able to put in this situation.
It's the beauty and the versatility of Chris Davinsky. How often do you see in this situation a manager be able to go to the bullpen and bring in a righty to face a left-handed hitting designated hitter?
That is a great point, because Robbie Grossman has better numbers from that right-handed side. He doesn't want to turn around some of these guys. He wants to go after him in that left-handed batter's box. But you're exactly right. Devo matches up well against any left-handed hitter in the league. COD.
Just missed. 2-2.
I don't think that missed. I think that absolutely locked up everybody in the stadium who was looking for the COD. 94.
Count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2.
Great pitch. Even better job by Robbie Grossman laying off it, because the movement and speed would entice that hitter to swing. But for me, Robbie Grossman is a take then swing mentality as opposed to a swing and then take mentality.
Hit to right. Red again. Twins leave the bases loaded. The Astros lead 10-5. The Astros with an 8 spot in the second inning, 2 more in the third. They lead it 10-5. Jose Berrios, the starter tonight for the Minnesota Twins, goes an inning and 2/3. As the Astros now in 4 games versus the Minnesota Twins have put 50 runs on the board. George Springer 1 for 2. Jose Altuve is one hit away from making some history with his 6th consecutive 3-hit game. Kevin Eschenfelder, Jeff Blum, Bart Ennis back with you here at Minute Maid Park as Yuli Gurriel leads off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yuli hit by a pitch in the 4th. The Astros had the bases loaded and nobody out in that 4th inning and did not score. Good off-speed pitch. It's 1-1. This Astros offense, the 15th time this season, they have scored in double digits in the runs category. That's fouled at the plate. The .500 slugging percentage as a team for the Astros is the 3rd highest in Major League Baseball prior to the All-Star break. 96 Mariners, 1936 Yankees are the only 2 that have been better. They throw the 2000 Giants in there as well. Boshier is working in his 2nd inning of work. Out along the right side. Vargas gave it a look, won't be able to catch up to it. Minnesota Twins are expecting to get Joe Mauer back from the disabled list tomorrow. Paul Molitor talking about that before the game, said he is expected to be activated. On the ground to short. Polanco, long throw. Vargas able to keep a toe on the bag, and there's 1 out.
Marwin Gonzalez is having himself a good afternoon. 3 for 3 on the night. Base hit and an RBI. Then decided to do the damage himself, getting a fastball right down the middle and driving it over the head of Buxton off the center field batting eye. But another opportunity with a runner in scoring position. He shoots it right back up the middle. Marwin Gonzalez continuing where he left off. Though he had every opportunity to be bitter about not being on that all-star team for the American League, but coming out here pretty hot to start this 2nd half.
Ball 1 to Marwin. Driven in 2. Astros with a 10 spot on the board. 10 runs on 12 hits for Houston. Two outs. Well, the Coca-Cola Value Nights package is one of the best ballpark bargains. This offer is available for select Monday through Thursday regular season games, and scores a ticket, hot dog, soda, popcorn for just $18. Visit Astros.com or call 877-9-ASTROS for more information. Pitching change, the Astros lead 10-5. Back in a moment. They saw a lot of runs early on in this ball game. The Astros with an 8-run 2nd inning. They lead 10-5, and Trevor Hildenberger, right-hander, comes in, and I got 2 words for you. Cal Bear.
Go Bears.
Making his 6th appearance.
Youngsters out of San Jose. 27 years old. See him bringing the funk, maybe a little bit lower than 3/4. Trying to sling that baseball in there and create some outs, but another Minnesota Twin out of that bullpen. Comes with the fastball around 88 miles an hour. Also has a changeup and a slider.
5th pitcher of the night tonight for Paul Molitor, 22nd round draft pick in 2014 out of Cal. Made his major league debut back on June 23rd. He faces Alex Bregman with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Good breaking ball, strike 1. But imagine it was guys like this that made you that much happier that you were a switch hitter.
Absolutely.
Dropping down. Bregman hangs in, rolls this one to Sano. Go across, that would tie the side. Played 6. It's 10-5, Houston. He's in to work the 7th inning, his 2nd inning of work. Got the final out in the 6th. You saw that 8-run 2nd inning. You didn't think this would be a night when you would see the all-star right-hander.
It's definitely not something you anticipate, but he had to come in and get Michael Feliz out of some damage that was self-inflicted with a hit and a couple of walks that he gave up.
Well, Charlie Morton started this game, went 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs on 3 hits. He walked 5, which was a big problem for him. He also struck out 10. And Feliz came in. He went 2/3 of an inning, got those 2 outs in the 6th. Gave up a hit and 2 walks, so he had the bases loaded. Davinsky came in and got the final out in the 6th inning. He's working here in the top of the 7th. Kenny's Vargas struck out his first 2 at-bats, then hit a bouncer to first base, and Yuli dropped it on the way to the Astros' 2nd error of the inning. That was back in the 5th inning. It's not a good inning.
Nice to see you loaning out those Devo hats for people.
You're wrong.
Talking about Devo and his fastball and his changeup, the circle of death. Changeup release on that left-hand side, fastball on the right. Gives you a good look at the release point, the deception. Now, if you put these on top of each other, it gets even better. He is releasing both pitches out of the same exact release point. That makes it that much tougher for hitters to try and figure out what Devo is coming after him with.
So as a hitter, you're thinking 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but he's throwing a changeup, so you're way out in front.
That's exactly right.
And if you do make contact, you're not doing it with very much of the barrel of the bat, right?
Because that's what pitchers are trying to do. They're trying to deceive you. They're trying to get your timing off, and that's what the pitch does. And when you throw both pitches out of the same release point, as a hitter, you can't pick up if it's just slightly lower, and you can't pick up the hand motion coming out. It makes it extremely tough. And then you add on top of it that Chris Davinsky has a phenomenal changeup to go with it as far as depth and change of speed.
So the natural question would be, why wouldn't you sit changeup with Devo?
Because you're going to get your doors blown off with
94, right?
Yeah. And there's not a. If you sit changeup,
you can't.
And he throws you the nasty changeup, so it's still going to be tough to hit.
You think fastball adjust off speed?
Hopefully, yes.
That's the plan.
And if he does give you that fastball, don't miss it.
Foul back. Polanco 0 for 1. He walked. Also has a sacrifice fly and an RBI. There's a comebacker and a double play. Well, Vargas was caught in no man's land. It's fielding your position for Devo.
Does it all. Soft line drive. You see him not panic. Kind of like a swinging changeup coming right back at him. Which, again, for the base runner, that's a tough read.
It's impossible.
No, you're literally hung out to dry.
Well, Jason Castro steps in with 2 outs, nobody on. Eddie Rosario waits on deck. He has replaced Byron Buxton. He's come in and he is in left field now. Granted, has moved from left to center for Paul Molitor's team. Astros lead 10-5. We're in the 7th. There's a 94-mile-an-hour two-seam that gets a strike to Jason Castro, the former Astro. It's 1-1. That is just gas right there at 93. There's some guys that 93 looks like 88. Some guys at 93 looks like 98. I think he's the former.
Keeping him off balance. It's nice to be able to reach back and touch the mid-90s when you need it.
He'd be the latter.
That was uncomfortable.
Stayed alive. The 911 hack there.
The operator answered, "You're still alive."
Blew him away. That retires the side. We stretch at Minute Maid Park. 10-5.
We'll try to add to that 10-5 lead. Time now to reveal the winner of our Chevy Stroh poll for tonight's game. If you recall, a few innings back, we asked you what you thought the most interesting second half storyline would be. And 44% of you thought that the team chasing history should be the most interesting storyline. And I have to agree with you on that one. Number D, trade possibilities, came in with 38%. But everybody wants to see just exactly what this team can do down the stretch, guys. Can they keep adding to these ridiculous run totals? They're running away with the division. What else are they capable of? Can't wait to find out.
I think we all can't wait. Each game has been pretty exciting. But when you start making comparisons to teams in the 1920s, it's saying something.
Especially when it was 1927.
Yeah, that's what our producer sent that email, and you see the 1927 New York Yankees on it.
They were pretty good.
Wow.
Well, George Springer leads it off here in the 7th. Chris Jimenez is coming to play first base for the Minnesota Twins.
As if my scorebook wasn't a yard sale already.
Luke Gregerson beginning to throw for Houston. George walked in the first. RBI single and scored in the second. There's one up the middle. Shipped is there. Ryan Dozier will throw him out. One away.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Talked about the Astros in the open and how well they are slugging the baseball. They lead Major League Baseball, and they are they're slugging at 500. We talked about the number of doubles they're racking up, the home runs at which they lead Major League Baseball with. But 9 points better than the 2003 Red Sox, and there they are, the 1927 Yankees. The Bronx Bombers at a 489 slugging clip, yet the Astros halfway through the season are at 500.
Altuve to center. And Granite is there to make the catch. So Kevin Eschenfelder, Jeff Blum with you. Todd Callis tweaking that extended All-Star break. Glad to have you with us. And this is one we've seen. Seems like the same old story. They scored 19 runs last time out. They come out, they've got 10 after 2 innings in tonight's game. It's been a lot of fun to watch. It's
been a lot of fun to watch, and it's fun to actually be a part of history with these guys. It's amazing that they're able to keep this up. But you know, the first month you say, okay, they had a good month. The second month you're going, wow, these guys are pretty good. The third month, now you're turning everybody into a believer.
If you're wondering at home, no, I don't trust you standing back there.
I was going to say, you look like you're ready to turn on a pivot in a hurry.
We know each other well enough for that. It's not.
Yep, careful.
Stand.
Yep.
keep watching the monitor. Keep watching the monitor. Josh Reddick, 1 for 3, single and a sacrifice fly. Hoping that Altuve was going to get another at bat. Altuve trying for that 6th straight game in which he put together 3 hits. Fly to center field there. George Brett did it in 1976. Altuve was 15 of 24 coming into this game.
Well, just going to say, 3 hits, possibly 3 hits for 6 straight games.
American League Player of the Week.
18 hits in 6 games, possibly.
Astros have had, what, two Players of the Week, or 2 Pitchers of the Month. They've had Player of the Month. And I think this is the 3rd Player of the Week. Josh Reddick singles to right. 2-out base hit will bring up Carlos Correa.
I've seen the Astros put up some 2-out innings where they've come around a little bit. Altuve may hit in this inning.
One for 3 for Carlos. Single in the 2nd. He's intentionally walked in his last plate appearance. That was in the 5th. Shoots that one right at Brian Dozier. Dozier will throw him out. He'll retire the side. We go to the 8th inning. The Astros on top, 10-5. 5 here, the first game of a 3-game series here at Minute Maid Park as Luke Gregerson comes in to work the 8th inning for the Astros. Luke, his 38th appearance of the season, 2-2. That ERA just a tad south of 4. Opponent's hitting .248 against Luke Gregerson.
It's one of those guys we talked about earlier. Had a rough outing earlier in the year trying to work that ERA back down. He's done a lot of work to get that under a 4.
So Rosario will lead it off. He comes in and hits in the 9-hole. Leads off here in the 8th inning. Left groin soreness for Buxton. That's why the official word from the Minnesota Twins why he left the game.
I've never had any groin issues because I wasn't fast.
You need an explosive first step.
Yeah.
You
weren't going to find that.
You weren't blessed with that explosive first step. So many different ways to go with that.
You handled it nicely.
What, laying out, watching the bus back over you? Rosario hitting .444 in his last week on the road. Last 7 games away from target field. Matt Belisle throwing in the Minnesota Twins bullpen. More likely he'll come in and work the bottom of the 8th inning. Rosario ball gets away from McCann, but not far. He'll complete the strikeout.
Tonight's Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. I'm going to talk about Carlos Quintana. He was on the Houston Astros radar as far as a trade that was talked about all offseason. Eventually the Chicago Cubs picked him up, allowing Quintana probably to stay in the same house and just change uniforms and change sides of the city. A couple of top prospects given up by the Cubs to pick him up too.
Number 5 overall prospect, and since the start of June, Quintana, who got off to a bad start, has been really good. Other news, and not good news for the New York Yankees. Michael Pineda is out for the season. He'll undergo Tommy John surgery. That was the report I heard earlier today. That can affect the Astros in different ways when you start talking about what moves you might make between now and the trade deadline.
Yeah, definitely. If that is a possibility, and I think I read somewhere that Pineda is going to go get a second opinion on that partial tear of that UCL. So if he's out of the mix or they try and protect him down the stretch, it definitely brings another team into that potential trade opportunity for a starting pitcher.
So you saw, okay, that was an update because I had heard the initial report earlier today on
the initial blast on Twitter was he is down.
Okay. 38,006 on hand for the first of this 3-game weekend series. The Astros and the Minnesota Twins. Good crowd tonight. Fireworks Friday night. Brian Dozier led this game off. Twins with a 1-0 lead with the first batter of the game. Looking like George Springer and hitting a leadoff home run to start the ball game.
It was his 21st career leadoff home run. He just passed Jacques Jones, who had 20 career leadoff home runs for the Minnesota Twins.
Second strikeout of the inning. What is it? Biggio had 53, I believe, and I think Ricky Henderson was at 81, if memory serves. It was right there. It was a lot of leadoff home runs.
Some leadoff damage.
This is game number 90 for the Houston Astros. A chance tonight to go to 32 games over 500. Came into today's game tying a franchise record with a 16.5 game lead in the division. Gregerson has been a lot like some of the hitters. He's been a lot better on the road than he has been here at Minute Maid Park. A lot of the damage done here at Minute Maid has come in just a few outings. And that's how it can get for a relief pitcher.
It was early on against Kansas City.
It's actually the second series of the season.
It's just a tough way to start out, especially after, as well as he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, basically turned into Captain America.
Do you think that WBC will have residuals down the road as far as guys wanting to be more a part of that now?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of curious, and I'm also kind of curious, you know, the feedback from some of the guys that do play in it, have rough seasons, are obviously going to say the WBC was a good experience, but nothing, something I won't do again. But it's got to be tough to pass up an opportunity to wear that country logo on the front of your chest. I think that would be a tremendous honor for a lot of these guys and would be tough to turn down.
How about Miami was just a great place for it too, because you see the
atmosphere for some of those Latin countries was amazing.
There's ball 4. Man aboard, Zach Granite reaches base for the second time tonight. That's where I also think you see a lot of times a Latin player. They talk about pressure of the big leagues. And these guys have dealt with pressure growing up and pitching, whether it even in winter ball or pitching over in some of the Latin American countries, because there's a lot of pressure. You know, pressure it's relative. It's the importance of the game is relative to where you are. So they know, they come here seasoned in that regard. Astros on top 10-5. Okay, I got a Twitter question. Let's wait for this pitch. Swing and a miss. Someone wanted to know, why is it offensive? What's wrong with swinging 3-0 in a lopsided ball game?
Swinging 3-0 in a blowout situation sends the message to the other team that you're trying to just absolutely embarrass them.
Okay.
And the last thing you want to do is try and embarrass that team on the other side. You want to do it in legitimate fashion, and swinging 3-0 is frowned upon. And that's the reason why, is because you've already got a big lead. Why are you trying to compound the fact that you've already destroyed us?
Can't tweet you back, but hopefully you're still watching, and so there's your answer.
It's a good question.
There are different things like that you don't really see. You'll see whether it's someone taking one off the shin and an umpire going out there. The little Little unwritten rules that you see in baseball. Umpire will go out there and dust off a plate that doesn't necessarily need to be dusted. Craig Biggio was famous for that's high. Making sure, taking pitches after the pitcher had made the second out of an inning. When Craig was batting as a leadoff man, taking some pitches, making sure that his pitcher got a chance to sit down on the bench for a second and get a glass of water.
If you're the second hitter in the inning and the leadoff guy swings at the first pitch and makes an out, automatic that the second hitter takes that first pitch, similar to what you're talking about.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Sano with a couple of walks. He's 0 for 2. Gregerson working in the 8th. Ball 4.
It's an elusive third out right now for Luke Gregerson.
Yes, it is. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
A big fan of the walks being racked up by these Astro pitchers. Charlie Morton got it started off with those 5 walks. Michael Flea's back to number 2, and now you've got 2 from Luke Gregerson.
Kepler's 0 for 2, 2 walks. A bouncer, Yuli will take it himself. That'll retire this side. Go to the bottom of the 8th. The Astros on top, 10-5.
5 over the Minnesota Twins, and we want you to connect to Astros baseball all season with the MLB.com @Bat mobile app. Customize the app for the Astros and get awesome stuff all season by subscribing to @Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Download MLB.com @Bat today, the #1 app for live Astros baseball.
Bilal comes into work here in the bottom of the 8th inning as Matt Bilal, 38th appearance of the season, a 5.82 ERA, and a big part of that 5.82 ERA came in that Memorial Day game. He gave up 3 runs, all earned in a third of an inning in that game. He and Marcus Stroman, kind of a numbers guy.
Yep.
Just looks, doesn't it just look different to see?
You like that single digit, don't you?
Kyle Drabek did it. He wore, I think, memory serves, number 4. You just don't see it very often. Ken Giles warming up for Houston. Ryan McCann leads it off here at the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 0-2. 3-run home run for Brian. Hit that in the 2nd inning. That was his 2nd at bat of the inning. Looks that one foul. There's Giles. You know, Giles went 7 days without working before that, during that road trip. He pitched in Toronto.
Blowing teams up.
That's just it.
At 10 runs per game in July, you're not going to see much action from your closer. Turns into just a guy.
Foul back again. Twins took the early lead on Brian Dozier's leadoff home run to this game. The Astros bounced back with an 8-run second. They scored 2 more in the 3rd. They held scoreless since, but the damage done. They lead 10-5.
It's inside. Two balls and two strikes. Matt Belial went to McCallum High School in Austin. Second round pick in 1998. The Atlanta Braves. 37-year-old. Tonight is career appearance number 636.
He's so old, I've even faced him. I think that's what you're implying.
No, I wasn't implying that at all, Water. Let's see. While I look things up. Three balls and two strikes.
One for four off him.
You did look it up.
I did.
I wasn't even going to go that far.
I usually tell you to look it up.
Good point. That's how you look it up. Fouled off. Three balls and two strikes. McCann leading off in the bottom of the eighth inning.
I thought Bartolo Colon is now in the minor league system for the Minnesota Twins.
Isn't that crazy? You know, Bartolo, we saw him pitch here at Minute Maid Park in that two-game series with the Atlanta Braves back in May. Gave up a 5 spot in the first inning. Then really shut the Astros down for the next 5 innings or so. Bartolo Colon, there's two players that have played in the Astrodome. Bartolo Colon, who's now in the minor leagues, DFA'd designated for assignment by the Atlanta Braves. Adrian Beltre, only two left. In under his hands, that's strike three. One out, that brings up Carlos Beltran. A couple of hits, 2 for 3 tonight. Walked and scored in the second, doubled in the third. Megan doubled in the second as well, in his second plate appearance of the inning. He also singled right up the middle in the fourth. Dug out at first and nicely done. That is a 5-3 putout with the shift. Here's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli was hit square in the backside with a fastball back in the fourth inning. Hitting .294. He has 14 hits in his last 33 at bats. That's impressive. When you put it next to the numbers of his teammates, it's a blip on the screen.
I was going to say, it gets overshadowed, which is incredible.
what I said earlier. He hit about 360 on the road trip, and it was probably the fourth highest average on the trip.
It's nice, Yuli. I hit 500. What Carlos Correa said. That's cute.
That's sweet.
Yeah. You know what Altuve said? He goes, "That's adorable." But I hit 516.
Correa at 500. Springer at 486. Crazy.
Yeah. Chin up, kid. Chin up.
Yuli sends that one to right. A little payback for that hit by pitch earlier. Gonzalez pulling the hands in and being able to shoot it to right.
Well, that's what he does so well. I think that's why he's going to be effective moving forward, is just his ability not to give in on ABs and not panic, but be able to pull those hands in and use that open area on the right side.
Base runners have been left on base in this game. 11 by the Twins, 9 by the Astros. Man aboard with 2 outs for Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin takes strike 1. 3 for 4 tonight. Led it off in the second inning. He had an RBI single, drove in the first of 10 runs for the Astros tonight. Then followed that up in the third with a solo home run to lead off the third inning, and came back with a single in the fourth.
With those 8 base runners left on by the Houston Astros, they are 7 for 15 with runners in scoring position tonight. That will actually make their risk number go up.
How often you see, though, is not only do they have a high number with runners in scoring position as far as the average. Well played by Jimenez at first base, and that'll retire the side. We go to the 9th. The Astros lead it 10-5. Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Ken Giles comes in here to work the 9th inning with the Astros leading this one 10-5. Say that the workload has been light for Giles here as of late would be an understatement. Granted, the All-Star break was in there, but he's working. He worked on the July 8th, which was right before the All-Star break. Before that, he had gone 7 full days. He had not worked since July 1st. This is just his 3rd appearance here in the month of July.
It's probably going to be the toughest part of being named that closer, is that you're expected to come in tough situations and gain those saves. But if you're on a ball club like the Houston Astros, who are putting up just ridiculous offensive numbers and have a tendency to have a high run differential in ball games, your work is going to be limited.
Works to Robbie Grossman to lead off the 9th inning. Grossman had a big at bat with the bases loaded in the 6th. Flied out to right field. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of walks and a run scored. And you don't buy the closers struggle in non-save situations. It's your numbers are your numbers.
I'd like to say no, just because I expect them with their stuff to be able to go out there and get big league hitters out. But I think there is a little bit of a change in mentality. And that's going to be the obvious excuse. Maybe not be as sharp. Because it turns into almost a simulation game for these guys where they're just trying to work on the release point, not being too fine or perfect with their pitches. But if I'm going out there with 97 to 100 and a power slider, I'm going to go out there and try and abuse some hitters.
That one flared to left, but Marwin is there and he'll make the play. 1 out in the 9th.
You know, we talk about Astro hitters being relentless and the ability to go out there and not give away ABs. In a similar sense, I think it's got to be the same way for a pitcher, much like a closer that we're talking about, to be able to take advantage of those situations, even though they're not save situations, and be able to put up good numbers. Can't give away appearances just because it's not something that's going to go on your stat sheet or get you a little extra cash at the bargaining table.
Jimenez swinging a miss. Jimenez actually pitched in that series against the Astros at Target Field. Playing first base tonight, made a nice play.
He did.
At first base on Marwin. Retire the side in the 8th. Astros going for their 61st victory of the season. The Los Angeles Dodgers have already won tonight. They have picked up their 62nd win of the season. Astros by far the best team in the American League. Jimenez to Correa. 2 outs in the 9th. McCann's waiting for some fireworks. We saw it in the 2nd inning, that's for sure.
I like the hat, like father, like son.
Runs in the family. Crowd is up. Jorge Polanco. Facing Ken Giles. Strike 1. Hit on the ground to Yuli. This will do it. Flips, and that's the ball game. Astros get their 61st victory of the season. They go to 32 games over 500 and 28 in 18 here at Minute Maid Park.
Player of the game is going to be brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's Marwin Gonzalez. Big AB getting things started for the Houston Astros. That base hit up the middle, scoring Carlos Beltran. Then his second AB proceeded to launch that Phil Hughes fastball deep into center field over the head of Byron Buxton. And it was another base hit with a runner in scoring position for Marwin Gonzalez, continuing that hot streak. Continuing a great season for Marwin Gonzalez.
Brian McCann, a 3-run home run, part of an 8-run 2nd inning. The Astros winning 10-5. Come back and wrap things up in a moment.